Hello guys. Today we will be learning about how to simplify expressions using the distributive property and by combining like terms. Now, we already went over this one in class, but just in case you did not get a chance to copy this down, please write it down right now. You can always pause to write it down. Alright, so here we are going to start with how to simplify expressions by using the distributive property. So here we have 3x. So here we have 3 times x plus 8. Okay, I did not know why this is doing that. And then we want to go ahead and distribute the 3. So it will be 3 times x and 3 times 8. So we will rewrite this as 3 times x plus 3 times 8. And 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 8, which is 24. And this right here will be the simplified version. Alright, here is another one. This is exactly the same thing. The only difference is that one of the product is in the back. So one of the factors is in the back. So this is supposed to be the quantity of 5b minus 4 times negative 7. The only thing here, they put this factor behind, but it's the exact same thing. So this will be negative 7 times negative 4. And then you have negative 7 times negative 5b. So it will be 5b times negative 7 minus 4 times negative 7. Alright, so this one will be negative 5 times negative 7 is negative 35b. And then negative 4 times negative 7, so that will be a positive 28. Alright, be very careful with the symbol. This is negative 4. Alright, so you need to read this one as negative 4 times negative 7, which will be positive 28. And this right here will be the simplified version. Bear with me, the stylus is acting up. I do not know why it's doing that. Alright, trying to move along quickly here. So here we have fractions. Do not be afraid, it's the exact same thing. This is saying 6 times 1/3 and 6 times 1. So we want to again distribute 6 times 1/3 of h plus, keep the symbol, 6 times 1. And here 6 times 1/3 is 2, or you can put this over 1, 3 cancel and 6 become a 2. So this will be 2h plus 6 times 1 is 6, so we'll leave it like this, and this will be the simplified form. Alright, again over here we want to distribute the half. So basically this is saying to take half of everything that is inside of the parentheses. So let's distribute the half. So it's going to be half. So it's going to be half of y minus half times half. Again for the second part. So half of y will be 1/4 of y minus negative, again this is minus half times half, so we have 1/4, and this will be the simplified version. Alright, so go ahead and try these two questions, pause, come back and get the answer very quickly. Alright, so here's the answer. Again, this one would be 5 times x, which is 5x. 5 times 5, which is going to be 35. This is a 3 and a 5. Over here, we have to take a quarter of 4, so that would be 1. So this will be 1. But we do not want to put 1f. Alright, so we just write f. And then a quarter of 8, and that is 2, so that will be minus 2. So this will be the simplified form. Okay, so here we want to know what is the difference. So here we need to rewrite each fraction. Basically, we need to distribute this. And so I can rewrite this as 1/5, because if I'm dividing something by 5, I'm actually just taking 1/5 of whatever it is. So in this case, it's 7x plus 2. So instead of saying divide by 5, we're just saying, oh, it's just going to take 1/5. So when you do this, you end up with 7x. Oops, okay, this is really bugging me. And now you can see 1/5 of 7x is going to be, when we distribute this, it's going to be 7/5 of x. I do not know why the stylus is doing this. Never does this before. Plus, and then 1/5 of 2, and that'll be 2/5. Okay, basically, you don't have to show all this work. You just basically split it up. So you just put the denominator below each term. So you'll do 7x divided by 5 plus 2 divided by 5. And that's it. Again, I apologize for these funky numbers. The stylus is acting up. Alright, so now it's your turn. Go ahead and choose the correct one. Alright, so in this case, the correct choice will be D. Alright, one thing that I do want to mention, sometimes you might have to simplify. For example, if this was, let's say instead of 16, it was 18, then you want to go ahead and simplify. So I will rewrite this as 4x divided by 3 minus 18 divided by 3. Now this 18 right here can be 18 divided by 3, we all know that's 6. So we could simplify this as 4/3 of x minus 6. So just be careful sometimes when you can simplify the fraction to go ahead and simplify. Alright, so now we are going to see the property of -1. So you want to read this as the opposite. Whenever there's a negative inside, you want to read it as opposite. Those are p's, by the way. So you want to read them as opposite. So this is saying the opposite of the quantity of 2y minus 3x. So basically, just flip the signs. So here 2y is positive. It's going to end up being negative. Again, I'm really distributing a -1. I'm in front of this, there's a 1. So I'm just doing -1 times 2y and -2 times -1 times -3x. Basically, I'm just switching the symbol. I'm doing the opposite. So 2y is positive. It's going to be -2y. And -3x will turn into positive 3x. And that's it. This will be the simplify. Again, this is a 3. Okay? So this right here will be the simplified version. Alright, so go ahead and try this. Pause, come back and get the answer. Alright, again, all this is saying is -a minus 5. This will be the simplified version. I distribute the negative to everything inside. I do the opposite of everything inside. Alright, go ahead and write this down. So here we have some vocabulary words. First one you have is term, and term is a number. It can be a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables. So for example, here we have in this expression right here, 6a squared will be a term, negative 5ab will be a term. Notice that we are saying 6a squared is positive. Then you have negative 5ab. And then you have positive 3b. And then you have negative 12. They're right here, all the terms. So you need to understand that this minus sign belong to whatever number or whatever term is behind it. Alright, so most of the time the kids will be like, is this an addition, is it a subtraction, or a negative sign? It's both. Okay, as you can see, we can rewrite them as 6a squared plus negative 5ab. Alright, we can rewrite them with addition, plus 3b. 3b here is positive, plus negative 12b. Now, whenever there is no variable attached to any number, that is called a constant. Alright, so here negative 12 will be your constant, and any number that is in front of a variable, that is called the coefficient. So here we can see 6 is a coefficient, negative 5 will be a coefficient, and 3 will be a coefficient. Okay, now we have what is called like terms. For like terms, they need to have the same variable, and also they need to have the same exponents, the same powers. So for them to be like terms, for example, 7a and negative 3a, we are talking about a's here. Let's say these were apples, 7 apples and negative 3 apples. Since we're all talking about apples, so those guys will be like terms, so that would be a yes. Over here, 4x squares, 12x squares, since they're both x squares, so these will be like terms. Over here on this side, we have 6ab and negative 2a. Now we have ab and a. They are not the same. We are missing a b here to make it the same, so these guys will not be like terms. And over here we have xy squared, x squared y. They're not the same. The x's don't have the same power, so they will not be like terms. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but you guys will see it with the example. So let's go ahead and do some example of combining like terms. Remember, the word combine means to add. Okay, so here we have 8x squared plus 2x squared. Since we are talking about x squared is the exact same thing, we can actually commute this. So it can be rewritten as 8 plus 2 again, this thing is bugging. Alright, so 8 plus 2 will be 10, and then we just attach the x squared. Alright, so okay, it's acting up. Alright, so this will be 10x squared. So 8 plus, it's like saying you have 8 apples plus 2 apples, that will be 10 apples, basically. Alright, so here we need to simplify this. Again, remember, we need to combine like terms. So this will be 5. So 5x and negative 3x will be the same thing. And then we have negative 3 and positive 4 will be the same thing. So this is how you guys will read them. So let's look x's first. 5x minus 3. Even though we are technically adding, but you want to read them with the symbol in the front so it's less confusing. We could have just said 5x plus negative 3. But here we can just say 5x minus 3, which will be 2x. And then negative 3 plus 4, that will be positive 1. And then the 6y, there's nothing for me to combine it with, so it will stay like this. Okay, so now here for this one, although it does look confusing, but if we look at each term, we need to look at each term to see which one we can actually combine so we can make this look less confusing. So here we have 12x squared y and 11x squared y. So those two can be combined. Now we have negative 8x squared y squared Nothing else look like this one. So everything else is different. So we can only combine 12x squared y plus 11x squared y. And that will be 23x squared y. And then we just basically rewrite everything else. Bear with me, this thing is really bugging. Okay, if you guys look at the other terms, they are not the same. Please um, be very careful. Okay, so this will be 8x squared y squared. It's not the same as x squared and y. So be very careful with those. And that's it. There's really nothing else we can do with this. Over here, go ahead and try this by yourself. Pause and then come back and get the answer. Alright, so over here is 3y minus y. Again, you always want to remember that the coefficient in front of y, in this y, it's a negative 1. So this is really saying 3 minus 1, 3y minus 1y, which is going to be 2y. Alright, and over here we want to make sure we combine the like terms. So I see a h, so negative 7 and negative 4. H, those guys can be combined. Again, this is negative 7 minus 4, which is negative 11h, plus 3h squared. There's nothing else there for me to combine, minus 3. I cannot combine 3h squared and negative 3 together. Alright, here we're talking about apples, here we're talking about oranges. Okay, so we cannot put them together. Now, the most politically correct way, the best algebraic way to write this would be 3h squared minus 11h minus 3. So we look at their degrees, their exponents. This has a 2, a 1, and then 0. So we want to look at their exponents. Alright, on the variables, and then we put them in that order. Notice I put minus 11h because 11 is negative, so I want to make sure I keep 11 negative. Alright, well, hopefully that wasn't too long or too painful, besides the stylus acting up, doing some weird designs. Hopefully this wasn't too bad. Alright, so see you guys in class. Bye bye.